Ever notice how a team can just like completely change their whole look in a short amount of time?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's crazy, right?
Absolutely.
So, we got this article that you sent over. It's how Jimmy Butler and the triangle offense resurrected the Warriors dynasty, and it's all about this incredible turnaround with the Warriors.
Right.
And you were asking, what are the things that cause these big shifts?
Yeah, like how does that happen?
And this article really boils it down to like two main things.
Okay.
One, Jimmy Butler joining the team.
Right.
And then two, the sort of return of the triangle offense.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a great example of, the right player and the right kind of strategy, just totally changing a team.
Totally.
And what's really wild is how much they were struggling before they got Butler.
Right.
Like they were on track to maybe even miss the playoffs.
Yeah, it was not looking good.
No, and that really puts into perspective just how big of a change happened after.
Totally. So the article really paints this picture of a team that's, in trouble. And then, boom, Butler shows up.
Yeah.
16 wins in 19 games.
Wow.
And the article really stresses that this is not just like a lucky streak.
Right.
This is a fundamental shift.
Yeah, what changed?
Well, just look at their free throws, for example.
Okay.
Before Butler, they were near the bottom of the league in attempts, and they were dead last in percentage.
Wow.
But now they're suddenly top 5 in both.
Really?
Yeah.
So what happened there?
Well, that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
The article connects this huge improvement directly to Butler's playing style.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so his, aggressive drives to the basket, his ability to, like, effectively post up, and his knack for drawing fouls.
Oh, I see.
It all adds up to more free throws and, more importantly, more points.
Right, makes sense.
And it shows a real, change in their offensive approach.
Okay, so it's not just about Butler scoring himself.
Exactly.
It's about how he's changing the dynamic of their whole offense.
Right, they're being more assertive and putting way more pressure on opposing defenses.
Got it.
Now, but it's not just Butler's individual impact.
Right.
The article also really emphasizes how important the return of the triangle offense has been.
The triangle, huh?
Yeah, and apparently because he played under Thibodeau in Chicago, Butler actually already had experience with some of the same, principles.
Oh, wow, so he was kind of prepped for it.
Yeah, so he fit right into what Steve Kerr's doing now.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, and for those of us who, remember those old Bulls teams?
Yeah.
The article points out the return of that classic low post split action. Where players are moving in tandem near the basket.
Just create openings.
Exactly. And now it's happening with, Curry and Draymond.
That's a pretty potent combination.
Right. So if we zoom out and look at the strategy as a whole, it's really about maximizing Butler's versatility within a structured framework. And the triangle is all about, generating different options and forcing defenses to react.
Makes sense.
And Butler's ability to read defenses, set good screens and create open shots for teammates, makes him like the perfect fit for this system.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, and speaking of teammates,
the
article talks about this incredible synergy between Butler and Draymond Green.
Oh yeah, they're fun to watch together.
They really are. And the article even calls them the smartest duo in basketball.
Wow.
Yeah, their two-man game is just tearing defenses apart.
That's amazing.
And apparently Butler's elite screening and passing IQ has unlocked a whole new level of playmaking for Draymond.
So they're like clicking on a whole other level.
Yeah, they just click.
Wow, that's cool.
And then there's this thing that the article says the Warriors have never had before.
Oh, what's that?
Butler's dominance in the post.
Oh, okay.
So his ability to score down low forces teams to double team him.
Yeah.
Which then frees up their shooters like Curry, Clay, and Poole.
Interesting. So it's not just about him scoring.
No, it's about how his presence creates opportunities for everyone else.
I see.
And the article calls this, his gravity down low.
Yeah, like a black hole.
Yeah, exactly. And it's completely changing their offense.
Right, because it's this dimension that they just didn't have before.
Exactly.
And when you have a post player who commands that much attention from the defense, it totally changes how teams can guard you.
Right.
It creates so much space and so many opportunities.
Yeah, it opens things up.
That you just don't get with a purely perimeter-oriented offense.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's not just about scoring, though, right?
Oh, right. What about their defense?
Exactly. The article also raves about their improved defense.
Okay.
Especially that lineup with Butler, Draymond, Moody, and Poole.
Interesting.
So apparently their rim protection is elite.
Nice.
And their perimeter defense is a lockdown.
Wow, they really have it all.
Yeah, and they even mentioned how Giannis was struggling against them.
Oh, wow. That's a big deal.
Right, so that's some pretty serious praise.
It is, and what stands out to me there is the combination of their individual skills on defense and how well they work together as a unit.
Right.
The article suggests that this specific group of players has the flexibility and the basketball IQ to guard multiple positions really effectively and disrupt even the best offensive players.
Disrupt even the best, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so with all these changes, where does the article see them heading into the playoffs?
Right. What's the prediction?
Well, they say that the Warriors could realistically end up with the 5th seed.
Okay.
And that means they would potentially face either Houston or Memphis in the first round.
Ooh, that's a tough first round.
Yeah, it would be a tough matchup.
Sure.
But you know what the article's final thought is?
What's that?
Never bet against Jimmy Butler in the playoffs.
Oh, that's a bold statement.
It is.
But I kind of like it.
I know, right?
It really speaks to his reputation as a competitor. Like, he's someone who always steps up when it matters most.
Absolutely.
So if what the article says is true and the Warriors can keep playing at this level, they are going to be a very dangerous team in the playoffs.
Absolutely. So in short,
if
you're someone who's, fascinated by these rapid team transformations, this deep dive into the article really shows how acquiring a player with Butler's specific skill set and combining that with a strategic shift, like bringing back the triangle offense, has totally changed the Warriors' fortunes.
Totally.
Yeah, they've gone from, potentially missing the playoffs to being a serious contender.
It's remarkable.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of how impactful these kinds of changes can be.
Couldn't agree more.
So here's something to think about.
Okay.
Beyond sports, what are some other instances where you've seen a single person or like a fundamental strategic shift totally change the direction of an organization? And what are the core principles?
Yeah, what are the underlying things?
Yeah, what are the underlying things that make these turnarounds possible?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to think about that.
Yeah, me too. It's really fascinating.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. But as always, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Always is.
See you next time.
See ya.
Bye.